Whenever I've talked about the Straw Hats growing and getting stronger, I tend to leave Jinbe out of the conversation. Because first off, he is already very strong and he's very established, but at the same time, he's also kind of getting up there in age, especially when you compare him to the Straw Hats. But recently, I've been really thinking about it, and I think I've relegated Jinbe to boomer status a little too soon. And honestly, I do think Jinbe is not yet at his peak power and he could get stronger. So that's what we're discussing today. If Jinbe could get stronger, how he could get stronger, and who he might fight to get stronger. How many times did I just say stronger? But guys, very quickly, if you're new to the channel and not yet subscribed, please make sure you subscribe to not miss any uploads. And if you're having a good time watching the video, drop a like for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help. But yeah, with Jinbe, it really kind of only occurred to me recently how old he is. I feel like because of how mature he is, especially compared to the Straw Hats, I've always felt like he's a little bit older than he is. Like before Jinbe, Frankie was the oldest at 36 years old, and Jinbe's a decade older than Frankie. And not only that, but Frankie still acts like he's 17 years old. So when you compare Jinbe to the rest of the crew, he feels a lot older than he is. And in terms of him growing and getting stronger, he definitely can't be compared to like Luffy, Zoro, or even Sanji, because those guys are actually less than half of Jinbe's age and they have massive potential. So when I'm talking about Jinbe getting stronger, I don't think he'll grow at the level of those three, or even somebody like Robin and Usopp who still have a lot more to learn. But even though Jinbe can't quite grow like the other Straw Hats, it doesn't mean he can't get stronger at all. Allergies are killing me, man. I gotta be out here sounding like Usopp. See, Jinbe at his current age of 46, I almost feel like that's like the prime age in the One Piece world. And it's definitely not impossible that if Jinbe faces some really challenging opponents down the line, which I feel like he absolutely will, but from those fights, he could definitely grow his Haki and get stronger. Like if you really think Jinbe is too old, here's a list of people that are older than Jinbe: Akainu, Kizaru, Aokiji, Fujitora, Vista, Katakuri, and Magellan. There's probably a bunch of other people that I missed, but Jinbe is not that old. He's actually about the same age as Marco. He's just 1 year older than Marco. And when you look at the list of people that I've just mentioned, you probably wouldn't say that they've definitely peaked. Like Aokiji and Akainu, a lot of people have always said that they've grown through their battle. Akainu was literally older than Jinbe when that battle took place. So at his current age, Jinbe's room for growth is definitely very little because he's so strong. But I really don't think he's at his peak yet, and he will have some opportunities to grow, especially because he's kind of rejuvenated again now that he's with the Straw Hats who are much younger. He's inspired by Luffy, he believes in Luffy, he can even look at the other Straw Hats and just feel inspired as well, because all the Straw Hats have big dreams that they want to accomplish, and Jinbe could feel inspired to get stronger because of that. So not only do I think Jinbe can get stronger, I think he will want to get stronger. But the important thing to note here is that it will be very difficult for Jinbe to get stronger because he needs to be put in those tough situations. Like Wano, for example, I still believe won't be a place where Jinbe will like bloom his Haki. I still think Wano will be a stage of showcase for Jinbe where we learn everything he can do. So far in the story, Jinbe has been very impressive, and Impel Down kind of showcased his powers. Marineford, he really showcased what he was capable of. At Marineford, Jinbe was stronger than Luffy. He was taking on hits from Admirals where Luffy damn near died. Once we get into the time skip, Fishman Island, he kind of does his thing, but then Whole Cake Island was really where he showcased what he can really do. He was tanking hits from Big Mom and knocking her off the ship. But despite all that, we still haven't seen like a true 1v1 fight out of Jinbe. So I think Jinbe's fight with Who's Who here won't be that big of a struggle for him. Even the last time we saw him, he was kind of fending off Who's Who nonchalantly. So honestly, I feel like this fight will be a showcase for us to get more familiar with Jinbe's moves and actually see him use his Haki in a full fight as opposed to a skirmish. That way we'll have a good way to gauge just how strong he actually is, so when we get to the much more difficult fights later, we can actually see him grow and get stronger. And so far in Wano, Jinbe has been kind of showcased next to Luffy and Zoro, and personally I don't think that's Oda trying to replace the monster trio. Instead, I think it's a way for him to hint that as he is right now, Jinbe is just as strong as those two. Now after what happened at the rooftop, things might have changed, but before that, Jinbe is already very strong, and he'll definitely prove that by the end of Wano. Beyond Wano though, there will be some tougher opponents coming into play, and in those fights is where Jinbe could really grow. And if we look at just how the Straw Hats have grown arc to arc, I do think that Haki is pretty much like the main thing to focus on. It looks like as you get stronger and stronger, Haki at the end of the day is still the most important. You can have a devastating devil fruit, but if you don't have the Haki to back it up, you're not gonna win. So in terms of really growing and getting stronger, Haki is probably the element that Jinbe needs to improve on. So far, he's really only showcased his armament Haki, which has been very impressive. I think after this fight against Who's Who, we'll have a much better idea of just how strong Jinbe's Haki is. But as far as armament Haki goes, we do know that there's levels to it. There's advanced techniques of like using Haki as a force, kind of like what Sentomaru and Sander Sonya showcase. I feel like that level of Haki technique Jinbe probably knows by now. With how strong he is and how long he's been in the game, he probably could use it at that level. But the level beyond that, internal damage, what Luffy learned from Hyogoro, that might be the big power up that Jinbe learns and gets. Now it is a very advanced technique, but it does feel like you could use it at different levels. Like I think Hyogoro could use it to some extent, but what Luffy and Rayleigh could do, that was another level up. I'm not saying Jinbe has to get to quite that level, but him like learning this technique and showcasing it, that could be a big moment for Jinbe. It could be interesting if he's talking to Luffy about it, but Luffy can't explain it. But then later in a tough fight where Jinbe is really challenged, he can figure it out and learn it. I do feel like that could be a pretty badass moment for Jinbe and a dope power up. And in terms of Haki, I really do think armament is where he's gonna grow regardless. Maybe it's not this advanced technique and it's just simply him getting stronger armaments. This is something I've said for Sanji and Wano, like he needs to grow his armament and showcase that he has strong armament. Like so far we know Sanji has armament, but he just hasn't showcased like a very high level of it. Jinbe's already showcased that he has strong armaments against Big Mom, but it's possible that he gets a very strong feat later on that it becomes evident that he got even stronger. And it could even lead to him having a moment where he's like, damn, I didn't know I could get stronger even at my age. So yeah, honestly, in terms of Haki blooming, I do feel like Jinbe's armament could get stronger. Observation, Jinbe definitely has, but he hasn't showcased it at all. So it'd be very random if he all of a sudden learned Future Sight or something like that. For observation, I just kind of want to see Jinbe struggling enough where he really has to lock in and focus. And then Conqueror's Haki, I think Jinbe's not gonna get. There's really no narrative reason. And that's pretty much it for Haki, but it's also not impossible we see more growth out of his Fishman Karate. And not even so much Fishman Karate, because Fishman Karate is not the only style. Jinbe has also showcased Fishman Jujutsu, so there could be other martial arts styles. We get a little Fishman Kung Fu, Fishman Taekwondo. I've always joked about Fishman WWE. Can you imagine some Fishman Batista bombs and RKOs? That would be sick. But realistically, I do think it would be interesting if there was like a secret Fishman arts. Almost like a Rokushiki style, but for Fishman. And like to master this style, you have to like master all the different styles and combine it together or something like that. This one's much more crazy headcanon as opposed to the Haki blooming, but this is Jinbe's like main battle style, so I do feel like it would be a fun way to expand upon it. Most likely Jinbe's just gonna get stronger through Haki blooming, but I would love to see more Fishman battle styles. But with that being said, let's talk about who Jinbe could fight to actually challenge him to grow. Obviously the Blackbeard Pirates are prime candidates for Straw Hat 1v1s, but I gotta be honest, right now the Blackbeard Pirates do feel kinda top heavy. Like Blackbeard is an absolute monster, but the rest of the Blackbeard Pirates I'm not that scared of. Like even Shiryu as an opponent for Zoro, after what Zoro has done in Wano, I don't know what Shiryu has been doing these past 2 years to get that strong. Now of course the Blackbeard Pirates have been collecting devil fruits, they even got some mythical ones, so all of them should be stronger overall, and we don't quite know how strong those level 6 prisoners are, so they could be pretty surprisingly strong. There is a mysterious 10th captain as well, so when Jinbe does fight a Blackbeard Pirates, it should be a very high level fight. I just don't know if it's gonna be to a level where Jinbe's challenged to the point where he needs to bloom his Haki. One scenario that's probably not gonna help Jinbe grow, but I really want to see is a Davy Bag fight between the Straw Hats and the Red Hair Pirates. Specifically, I want to see Jinbe versus Luckyroo. That would be amazing. Two big boys just going at it. Luckyroo's a absolute menace as well. That would just be a fun battle to watch. Obviously, they're not gonna fight to the death and Jinbe's not gonna bloom his Haki, but still definitely a fight I want to see. But beyond that, I do feel like the final war against the world government and the Marines is where Jinbe could really grow. Because the Marines, they got the Admirals, there's a lot of opportunity for some high level fights. And low-key, it could be like a full circle thing for Jinbe, where in Marineford, although he showcased he was very durable, he still lost and he couldn't do anything. If Jinbe gets a chance to clash against an Admiral, I know people highly regard Admirals, but it could be a chance for Jinbe to grow. I'm not saying Jinbe's gonna defeat a Kainu or anything like that, but maybe against like a Green Bull, it could be a very high div fight. And a fight like that, Jinbe could definitely get stronger and bloom his Haki, and he doesn't even have to win. Even if he fights him to like a draw, like an ace type battle, it will be sick. Other than the Admirals, there should be some strong opponents out of the world government themselves as well. Maybe the Gorosei are actually strong and they haven't just been hyped up for no reason. I feel like Jinbe fighting that Monopoly looking dude would be a good battle. I don't know, they just look like they suit each other. CP0 is another option as well, but they would have to be really strong. But yeah, overall, I do feel like Jinbe has to get one very challenging fight where he actually grows. Because honestly, we don't have that much time with him as a main Straw Hat. This was low-key a problem for Brook early on because he got separated with the Straw Hats so quickly after he just joined. But of course, Brook showed out in Whole Whole Cake Island and probably will get more chances to do so as well. Jinbe, on the other hand, we really need that 1v1 where he's really struggling and we need to see that resolve. I feel like that's the way to really cement him as a Straw Hat and give him a lot of development. But yeah, overall, those are my thoughts on Jinbe getting stronger and how he could get stronger. Definitely want to hear your thoughts on this, so let me know in the comments below. But as always, thank you guys for watching. If you had a good time, drop a like for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell as well to not miss an upload. Thank you to my King Pirates Elite members on YouTube and Patreon for supporting the channel. Check me out on Twitter. I'm DZack, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.